Back to that breaking news, the U.S. saying that Iran is preparing to attack Israel with ballistic missiles. We are going to get insight now from Bloomberg's Dan Williams. He is at Israel's Northern Command, close to the Lebanese border. What is the latest that you are seeing and hearing and understanding about what comes next?
Hi, good morning. I apologize for the unusual setting, but things are literally moving very fast now. Israel overnight moved troops for a large-scale incursion into Lebanese territory. This was anticipated. The United States telegraphed that it was going to happen, and the Israelis are looking to dislodge Hezbollah from there physically, having started a very dramatic counteroffensive against Hezbollah, including the assassination of its leader, Hassan Nasrallah. Now, Iran has vowed to avenge this. It's vowed to avenge previous Israeli actions in this war between Israel and Iranian proxies in the region. And the latest we're hearing is that Iran may be about to launch a ballistic missile attack at Israel. This is according to U.S. intelligence, apparently. It would not be without precedent. This happened on April 14th when Iran fired a volley of 300 projectiles, including ballistic surface-to-surface missiles, as well as cruise missiles and drones at Israel. At the time, Israel, with the assistance of a number of foreign partners, managed to stave off the bulk of those attacks. One imagines that the same defenses will now be rallied and mobilized to stave off this attack if it indeed takes place.
Dan, I noticed that in an interview with the New York Times, the Israeli defense minister talked about the next stage of this war against Hezbollah. He's using that language, war, in terms of the conflict between Israel now and the Iran-backed militia in Lebanon. Are you hearing that language as well? Has it progressed to that level where we can call it a war?
I think, Israel's been at war officially. It declared war after the October 7th attack by Hamas from Gaza. That turned into a multi-front campaign with several Hamas allies, other Iranian-backed militias, including Hezbollah, attacking Israel from various fronts. So effectively, there has been a state of war. And indeed, it's worth remembering that these groups are ideologically dedicated to the destruction of Israel. So whether it's open war or more of a Cold War situation, the hostilities are still there. When Israel talks about the latest stage, what it's basically referring to is a physical drive to dislodge Hezbollah from the border area, such that Hezbollah can no longer pose a threat to northern Israeli communities, which have been evacuated, emptied of something like 60,000 residents who've been living in hotels, temporary accommodation for almost a year now. So Israel, having degraded and actually decapitated Hezbollah with some very sophisticated aerial strikes and sabotage over the last 2 or so weeks, is now moving in on the ground, it says, to finish the job when it comes to southern Lebanon and Hezbollah emplacements along that border.
Well, Dan, bring us the on-the-ground perspective from Israel. Of course, we've heard from Netanyahu saying that the population should adhere to home front directives. You are clearly in a car right now traveling through Israel. What sense do you have of what's happening on the ground? What is the population actually doing, and what's the mood music there?
Well, I'm in northern Israel, which has been rather unusual because since Hezbollah, which has a sophisticated arsenal compared to Hamas, started attacking Israel, the Israelis have been scrambling, jamming GPS in the north, which means that unless you're an old fellow like me who knows how to work a paper map, you can find the trip very, very confusing. So in general, the roads here have been sparsely used comparatively by cars. In general, the driving is, should we say, not as safe as it might be elsewhere. And right now, the Netanyahu statement you alluded to follows on to an instruction from the Israeli military that came out just minutes ago all over the country, calling on Israelis all over the country to avoid assembling in large numbers outdoors and to remain close to shelters. So Israel is clearly signaling that it is aware that there is a nationwide threat of attack. That seems to sync up with what we're hearing from U.S. officials now about a ballistic attack from Iran. So right now you'll be seeing Israelis all over the country making sure they have a bomb shelter to hand, plans not going out. But again, this is not without precedent. Just a few months this happened. Then it happened overnight. The attack really took place between midnight and 4 a.m. local time. Right now, the time is something in the order of 4:30. If I'm looking at my watch, sorry, it's just 5 to 5. So we're talking about, if this attack takes place, a daylight attack when many people will be coming home from work, potentially children coming home from school, from clubs and the like. So that will be adding to the sense of consternation, public consternation at this development.